I don't know if you can see it on the video, but we are going right up there. There's like a fire lookout on the top of that peak. Can't see it behind those trees now, but we're headed right up there. Holy cow. In the next few minutes, I'm going to ascend about 800 to 1,000 feet, and I'm just going to let you listen to me breathe. We're up over 9,500 feet right here, and I'll be at about a little over 10,000 feet at the top. Just let you hear me breathe here a little bit. I'll do a monologue on the way down. Off the trail. So this section here was actually the worst part. I'm gonna roll the bike back down and do it again. Now watch this. This is just all out, bike at 8,000 RPMs, just letting her rip once I have to jump off the bike and push it. So I'll fully admit, I'll be the first to admit that I'm not in the best shape of anyone ever, but that is a push, man, to get your bike up that thing at the end, and you're already up here 2 miles above the sea, and the air is thin, and that is quite the accomplishment once you push your bike past that point. And then here it's just kind of a fun trail up to the summit, up to this fire lookout station here in Wyoming, and it was a blast. Like that last section there, you know, the switchbacks were kind of fun, but the last section, getting the bike up that is not the most fun thing we did today. And keep in mind, we had ridden the bike 34 miles just to get here. There are people who don't do a 34-mile trip on their bike all day long, and this will be the mid midpoint. Once we get to the summit here, this will be the midpoint of our ride, and actually the second half of the day was more technical stuff. There was a lot of stuff real similar to what you just saw, where we were just pushing the bike up, you know, these mountains through 6 inches of, you know, loose rock and shale, where you're just throwing stuff everywhere. But there were some pretty epic views up here this day. We had some smoke up here with the fires, so it wasn't as clear. The next day we got up to a peak that was 1,000 feet higher than this one, and we couldn't really see hardly anything because of all the fires that have happened in Utah and California and Nevada and everywhere around us. There's been a lot of stuff blowing smoke in, but this gives you an idea of where we're at up here. Just an absolutely epic beautiful trail here in western Wyoming. And then this is actually some footage that I've got on my Skydio drone. It's Skydio 2. It's a drone. It's following me on a beacon. And so I'll pause a couple times here because I'm going to give the drone some different instructions on, you know, how to follow me, where to go. I'm getting some pretty cool stuff off this drone. I am going to lose it. I've already crashed it once. Well, it's crashed itself once, and I'm going to definitely lose it at some point. But I'm just hoping to, and I say lose it because it tries to follow you, and then it gets itself into some tricky situations in trees where it can't get out. It kind of gets caught, and I'm going to have that happen where I can't find it again, or where it runs out of battery and then just lands, and I'll be a mile away from it and won't know, or at least a few blocks away from it, and won't know where it went down. But you can get a sense, a little bit of a sense of how, and this was the most nasty part right here. I'm coming down through the nasty part. This is right where I had to get off the bike and push it when I was going right through there. And then this is the top switchback. It's too tight and steep for me to actually run the bike right down it. So I did a 270-degree turn right there off the bike, kind of doing a pivot turn up on the hill, because that is super nasty. And this is literally like a 60-degree angle on this hill, so it's very, very steep. You can't tell how steep it is here, but it's super steep. And then there's just, and that's kind of a sketchy little spot here. And there's a few switchbacks where the drone's going to kind of lose view of me, but for the most part, it does pretty well. And this was an awesome, awesome day. So that was the summit. The next day, we got to do 1,000 feet higher than this one, which was pretty stinking cool. And the TPI bikes, we had 3 2020 KTM TPI bikes up there, and they ran perfect even up at this altitude, and they'll run perfect at the the 11,000 foot mark that we take them to the next day. So pretty phenomenal what's happening with these bikes. I love the way they feel. I love the way they run, even when we get 2 miles above the sea. Yeah, you're down a little bit on power, but you know what, your lungs are down on power when you're up that high, so it's all a trade-off. Anyway, that's what I've got for you guys. Let's go ahead and leave a single track. Thanks.